So by the time this video's come out, CrossFit has announced through different channels, whether it was Box Rocks put an article out, Morning Chalk Up, a bunch of different places kind of covered that CrossFit was changing how the games were going. And it was Greg Glassman himself that said most of the changes. What's crazy is that we don't have a lot of details, we just kind of have a general idea, and people have been going nuts. So it's kind of funny. People are assuming a lot of things. They're not reading through everything carefully. They're not trying to reason through it. They're just looking at the part they don't like and assuming the rest out of it. So the reason for the change, from what we know of so far, and again, this video is coming out probably a few days after it, but this is literally the day that the article came out on Morning Chalk Up that we're actually videoing it. So the real reason is that the games have become this massive focus for CrossFit when that's not their core brand and focus, right? Their core focus is general health, the everyday person. Hey, are the games awesome? Yes. Doing the open is a great yes. Does it build community? Does it challenge people? Does it lift the ceiling off of what people think they can actually do? Yes. But CrossFit was dumping a ton of money, losing money as well, into these events, and it couldn't happen anymore. They want to change how they're looked at as a brand. So it's kind of neat. If you look through CrossFit's history, when they first started, all their videos were on movements and workouts and becoming an expert in that area, and they promoted that free videos all the time. And then they kind of got away from it, were very games focused, and the past several years have gone back to, hey, this is the workout of the day, this is how you can look at it, this is how you warm up for it. Again, become general practitioners like you and me who are not going to the games necessarily, how to get better and fitter and healthier over the span of your lifetime, which is really cool. So they kind of refocus their brand, and this decision is part of that. So they let go of a lot of media people because the media people took up a bunch of their budget, and there are crazy amount of media coming out, videos, pictures. It's really incredible. They actually brought up that it costs over $1 million to run the regional down in Brazil, and only 2 people end up going to the games from it. $1 million. So we hear so many people say that, oh, I'm not paying $20 for the open, CrossFit doesn't need my money, they're making so much money off of this. Well, it turns out they weren't, right? So a lot of times we mistake revenue for profit. Revenue does not mean profit. You can be making $50,000 a month, but your expenses are $52,000, you're negative $24,000 at the end of the year. All right, so don't confuse revenue with profit. A lot of people judge CrossFit on that, and it's always funny. There's always some type of amount of money that you find evil because it's more than what you're making. And then you make more money, and then you decide another amount of money is evil. So be careful about judging everyone just on the cover thing. It kind of lets people know who you are more than who CrossFit is. So number 2, so they're changing how the open is done, when it's going to be done rather. So the open's on a shift to October, not this year. From what I know, I don't think it's this year, because if they do that, all these people that take a month, 2 months off after the games are going to be in a lot of trouble if they need to get ready for October. That's a very short time period. So it looks like we're going to have the open during February of 2019, and then the open for 2020 is going to be in October of 2019. And then they're also going to have events from November to June, 16 sanctioned events that we know of officially that you can win to qualify for the games. And then the games are going to be in August themselves. So you're going to have the open to try and qualify, and then these sanctioned events. So a couple of good things, a couple of bad things. The good thing is the open, anywhere there's an affiliate in the world, if you win the open for your country, you qualify for the games. That's awesome because it gives some of these smaller countries a chance to kind of show what they're made of, the people there, as well as anyone that didn't have the funds if they qualify for regionals to get to regionals if it was far away. They can qualify via the open or go into some of these sanctioned events. Now the 16 sanctioned events, it looks like Wadapalooza, Granite Games, some of these events have been around for a long time. They're going to be running it, and they have to pay a fee in order to have CrossFit come and help them with it. I'm very curious to see how they're going to standardize that with judging and everything, which is always a concern, always a problem, right? Whether it's professional sport or just your local competition, it's always a question. But this really helps some of those smaller countries or athletes that have a hard time getting through the open. Where it hurts is those countries where they have a lot of games athletes. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do in the United States when there's so many people, East Regional, if you look at the West Regional, if you look at what used to be like the Midwest, but where Froning's team is and all these big powerhouse people, where Fraser just moved, what they're going to do about these areas where there's a ton of games athletes, but now you only have so many people qualifying via the open, there's no more regionals, and you have 16 events where the winners get invited. So there's more people going to the games, but I'm not sure how they're going to make sure it's only the top people. And I don't mean this disrespectfully or anything like that, but you can have an affiliate in a very small country, and you win for that country, you go to the games, and day one you're getting rhabdo because you're not ready. And I'm not sure how that helps the games or helps the fitness community or helps CrossFit period, if they have someone who's not ready, who really shouldn't be there, but someone else is competing in a different country where it's a lot tougher, they don't make it. So I'm curious, we don't have the details, so I know they're gonna have some type of plan. It's not like CrossFit's made this decision like, hey, let's make this decision. I'm sure it's taken a few years to try and figure out how to change things, because it's not like you can pull together all 16 sanctioned events in a very short time period. There's a lot of work going into this. I know it wasn't a split-second decision. So what I'm going to do, looking at this, it makes it more fun as a spectator personally, because you have more events where you can go see games competitors. I think it's going to make the Open way more intense, so get ready. It's probably going to be a little bit harder if that's only one of the decisions to be the fittest within a country. So scale to RX, there's probably going to be quite a gap. So people like myself, probably RX is going to get harder and harder and harder to compete in, which is good because it's a competition. It's not there to make you feel better. It's to find out where you stand. But I'm excited because we're going to be able to chance, especially here in New Jersey, we have a couple spots local that I'm hoping will turn into some of these bigger sanctioned competitions, so that way you have more opportunities like regionals during the year instead of just one time. And that being said, I'm personally excited for the change. I know a lot of us don't like when change happens. When I used to work at a school and teachers' rooms used to switch, everyone would be up in arms. It was just a room change. All these games athletes have to figure out what's going on. Some athletes have moved to go to better training areas. Now that's going to change for them. The joke is people are going to move to like a very small country, open an affiliate just so they can qualify. If you're willing to do that and have the money to do that, you probably have the money to get better training and recovery and everything else too. So who knows? But don't stress out. Don't go crazy with your opinions online, all stressed out. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I think this is going to be much better for spectators and people who enjoy watching the games. For the athletes, I think things just got harder for you. So if you're trying to make it to the 2019, 2020 games, better bump up that training because it's about to get a lot harder for you.